Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 2 of the Q&A, so let's go ahead and knock this out. Alright, first question. Jason, which specialty bars would you say are most versatile? I'm an intermediate lifter running a 3-day full body 531 template with a number of assistance lifts, and I have a home gym. I plan to add new equipment over time, but without spending money on something that won't have much use. Currently, I have a regular power bar and a safety squat bar. Honestly, a bow bar, a buffalo bar of some type. I have the TDS one. It costs barely over $200 off Amazon. And a football bar. That's going to give you the most versatility. All your other specialty bars outside of what you already have are going to have very specialized uses. In other words, they might only have one use, right? They only have one use. And if you only have one use out of a bar, it probably isn't giving you a lot of versatility for someone who wants the most bang for your buck. But I'm going to say the bow bar or buffalo bar because it brings a lot to the table for both squatting and benching and variations of them, along with that football bar. And the football bar, because you can do so many different upper body exercises with it, because it allows you to do, well, a lot of stuff. Look at any of my training vlogs. You'll notice I do a lot of different exercises with it. You do a lot of exercises with a neutral grip with that bar. So it brings a lot of versatility to the table, even though it's upper body specific. But the buffalo bar, less total exercise variations you can do with it, but it does stuff for both squatting and benching. And it's a good tool for saving your shoulders from doing lots of squatting. It's a good tool for increasing range of motion on bench, all that stuff. So those are going to be my two recommendations. All right, next question. Coach, I've been cutting for a few months now, and my pressing movements have been feeling pretty awful. Running 3 days full body program, basically madcows. Bench has been going down as I've cut body weight from 210 down to 185. What are your thoughts on replacing it with incline bench for the duration of the cut while I continue doing exercises like dips, as JM presses once a week? It's definitely a mental problem as well because performing so poorly on the bench affects my focus for the rest of the workout, and I start doing random bodybuilder crap I don't need. Deadlifts, pull-ups, and other lifts have been feeling pretty decent. I could just stop the cut altogether, but I haven't achieved the body composition I wanted yet. Any advice is really appreciated. Thanks. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, cutting out one of the biggest, most effective exercises because it's declining while you're losing body weight is not going to be ideal for keeping your strength and muscle mass while losing body weight. All right? You're going to have to get over it. You personally decided that you needed to lose 25 plus pounds of body weight. All right, for whatever reason, you made that conscious choice as a goal for you. You are going to lose pressing strength. Okay, get over that. You're going to have to accept that. You're the one who set the goal of losing this weight. You have to accept the consequences of this weight loss. You're going to lose strength. You're going to lose muscle. It is going to happen. Your options are to continue the cut and still work on the bench and focus on it and maintain the strength the best you can. The incline bench uses less muscles in the body. I don't think you should do that. I think you should do that. I'm not saying you couldn't work some of it in, but you better focus on keeping what bit of bench you have. Number 2, you could stop your cut for a while, rebuild the strength and muscle you lost, and go back and cut later. Are you doing some sort of photo shoot? Are you doing something that mandates that you have to do the entirety of your cut in one go? Because unless you have something that is forcing you to do so, every physique expert I even know, every coach I know would tell you, unless you have a deadline that you have to have for some competitive purpose, you don't have to do an entire cut in one go. You can take breaks from your cut. In fact, there's a threshold to where I'm going to say if you've lost 25 pounds already, and you're continuing to cut, unless you started pretty obese, you might want to take a break. If you're losing substantial strength, it means you're losing lean tissue in your upper body. It might be time for you to take a break and resort yourself out before your energy turnover starts going down, where you start losing more muscle mass. It might be time to step back and say, do I need to continue this cut? Because, you know, it's like these things, people say, well, I have this goal. Well, sometimes your goals are well-meaning, but you didn't plan through the execution of them correctly, and you didn't understand that there were going to be intermediate steps towards a long-term goal. And it sounds to me like you're talking about dropping 25 pounds already, and you're still not done with your cut, well, if you're not a bodybuilder, how lean are you trying to get? And if you're taking this sort of toll already and you're going to need to keep cutting, I'm going to assume you're not some sort of physique competitor, which I hope you're not on my channel, because I don't recommend you do that. I hope you're cutting to a body fat level that you can sustain long term, right? Isn't that usually our goal? To cut to a body fat level and not regain the fat so that we can lean bulk or recomp or whatever we need to do from a certain point? That's the sane way to do stuff for an athlete or a fitness enthusiast, not a competitor, a physique competitor. Why would you want to get to a body fat you're only going to stay at for a week? So if you're having these sort of problems already, you might want to reassess how lean exactly are you planning on getting. And is it going to be something that you can sustain? Because it sounds like you're already having a sustainability issue on the journey to even getting there. It might be time to step back and go back to maintenance for a little while, change your body set points, regain the muscle tissue that you're losing in your upper body, regain your strength, reassess the importance of that goal, decide if it's a sustainable body fat, and then after a period of time, start working your way back down towards it. Okay? People need to have some common sense with this. I mean, we set these goals sometimes, well-meaning goals, without thinking through the long term. It just seems like a good idea to us to do, and then we get committed to a goal, and at what cost? It ends up costing us more than we want, because we aren't willing to approach that goal in an intelligent and methodical manner. We're not willing to follow all the steps that it might be a multi-step process to reach that goal, and thinking we're just going to do it in one big go. Well, when you're dealing with something like the human body, it's not always that simple. That doing stuff in the one big go can come at a high price. Sometimes things break. They break down. We lose things. There's a price to be paid for that. Take your time. I would personally recommend, based on what you said, because you didn't say you were cutting for a physique competition, might be time to take a diet break. 3 weeks, 6 weeks, then go back and finish cutting later. That might be the way I would go personally. All right, next question and last question of the week. Would you recommend a 6-week widowmaker program for legs during a bulk, with the second leg session of the week focused on heavy squats? For those who are unfamiliar with what a widowmaker is a rest pause squat protocol. It goes all the way back to the 70s. It used to be people used to do 20 rep squats and drink a gallon of milk. All right, it was very popular for high school football players. It works, but let's talk about modern training and fatigue management. Can you make gains doing this? Yes. Is it necessarily the best allocation of your resources? I don't know that it is. I don't necessarily recommend this. We have modern methods. Now, for those, again, who don't know what it is, it's 20 rep breathing squats. A widowmaker, you take your 12 rep all-out max on a squat, and you do around a 10 rep set. And then you rest, pause, and at the top, take deep breaths, multiple deep breaths between every rep, and you keep grinding out till you get to 20. And then you rack the bar and you lay down on the ground and try to recover yourself. Okay? That's your squat workout. Now, people say, well, how many sets? Anyone who just asked that has never done it. Okay, I'm going to state that again. Anyone who actually asks how many sets of this should you do has not attempted it. They've not attempted it. You are not going to do a second set. You are not physically capable of doing a second set. If you are, you did your 20 rep max, not your 12 rep max. It is not physically possible to do a second set. From a fatigue management and training economy perspective, I am not necessarily a big fan of this. Does it work? Does it work great for high school football players who maybe you only need them to come in and do one real squat session and then maybe some heavy work and heavy deadlifts and stuff and cleans on a different day? Sure, it works. Combine it with their full structured week of their football training, plenty of overfeeding, bulking. It's very effective. I mean, it works great with the gallon of milk a day protocol. This has built hundreds of high school football players, many of whom went on to go pro. Got scholarships and things like that. It works. I wouldn't recommend you do it. If I thought it was the best approach for a novice, right, or for anyone, I would write it in programs. I don't. So if you don't see me writing this protocol in programs, I don't think it's the best. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I wouldn't prescribe it. And if I wouldn't prescribe it to clients, I wouldn't prescribe it to you in a Q&A. It's terribly fatiguing. It's terribly fatiguing. And outside of an environment to where you're going to be eating an enormous amount of food, I don't know that it's ideal. There are better training protocols that use better rep and set schemes with proper programming and periodization that are going to be superior for most people's goals. Because the 20 rep squat program is really also a test of fortitude and just all out, how hard can you push yourself? Right? It's basically just training yourself into the ground in a very short period of time. And it works, but there's better options out there for most people. There are better options out there, and you're going to be sick of it. You do it for 6 weeks, you're going to be sick of it. I mean, you can give it a try and report back. I mean, I'm not saying I haven't done it. I've messed with it. I've done this before. You're going to be hating it by the end of the 3rd week. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.